Yeah, thanks, Nico. Good to see all the faces again. It's been a couple of weeks and excited about the game moving forward on Sunday. So, yeah, I'd be, remiss to not briefly address the reports that surfaced earlier this week and, the subsequent announcements from the club. First of all, on a professional level, I want to say that I've never personally experienced anything like what's been reported in my time with Ernst. But as an organization, we fully recognize the seriousness of the situation. And that's as far as I'll go to discuss the topic that's ongoing during this investigation. So, big focus for our game on Sunday against New York City, and that's why we're here.
Thanks, Bradley. We can start questions in the room.
I think I'm obliged to at least ask whether you've sensed that it's at all been a distraction to the work on the field, to the players that you manage or anything like that.
The players have been amazing over the last, 3 weeks, 20 days, whatever it's been, have been incredible. And then obviously, we were informed about the situation, but for the players on the ground and the day-to-day organizational operations, we haven't skipped a beat. The train is moving, and the players are engaged and excited about the prospect of playing on Sunday.
Coach, my question is around NYCFC. Obviously, this is a team that you've seen over the course of this season. What is it about them that makes them dangerous? Being a number 5 seed, obviously has meant nothing with how they've been not playing. What are you expecting to see out of them?
Yeah, I think each team at this stage of the playoffs is an excellent team. They've proven that through the whole season, and they've proven that during our engagements with them over the 2 games that we've played them. And you've seen, what the game could look like, in New York, and you've seen what the game could look like here. And both of them were very similar, tight, cagey, not much given on either end. So, I think it's going to be expecting a tight game. But what they do have, is difference makers. I don't care. We're not talking about guys who are suspended and injured. We're expecting a quality outfit. They're well coached. They have excellent individuals in transition, and we're treating this game with the utmost caution and respect.
They could be forced into some changes because of injuries and things like that. Maybe some things that they haven't done before. How do you manage that tactical challenge this week?
Again, we can only control what we can control, and that's our principles and our game plan, and that stood us true through the test of time over 34 match days and getting through the Chicago series. And we focused on our principles in each phase of play. So, we know they might throw a wrinkle into doing something. We cannot control that, but we have to expect that they could do that, and be comfortable with any changes that we might have to make on the back end. But again, we feel fully focused on what we have to do here at hopefully a sold-out Subaru Park.
Kevin Sullivan's been back with you this week, maybe a little earlier than he planned. Certainly,
a real shame. Yeah, a real shame.
What has he been like this week? What have you seen from him and his readiness to potentially contribute on Sunday?
Good. I think he's incorporated well into the group again. He's also been joined by CJ, Eddie Davis, Rick, Andrew. So these guys are all back with us. It's nice to have a full group around us again. We're a bit thin through this period now, and we've kept the edge going by playing games against each other. We've kept the edge by training in a real intense way. But it's good to have everybody back in the roster.
Which I'm interested in your thoughts. I asked you this question earlier in the season about Indiana Vasquez and what his role is on the club. And over the course of that time, certainly he's been given a lot more freedom to kind of roam and to create for you guys. What would you say from now when you started to now what his role is on?
Yeah, I think he's grown a comfort within his surroundings, right? I think you've seen him progress, and he hit the ground running. Yeah, no doubt about that. I think there was a comfort level of knowing what's expected because of our time and working together in St. Louis. But now, playing with the players that he has around him, has just been able to forge and produce a nice cohesive, whether it's with the ball or against the ball, and sometimes. he's a silent leader. He's not silent, trust me. He's loud, he jokes, and but he goes about his business in the most distinguished way. And he adds value both sides of the ball. And I think he's a good role model to have in the team. He shows the way on the field, and he commits to everything we do. So yeah, I think it's safe to say he's been really important. And I think all our 10s play a special role in the system, the 9s and the 10s. I think they have to give so much more, and sometimes they don't receive all for the output that they're giving, right? But over the course of the season, you've seen what benefits the whole team, and what gets us, some silverware in the Shield, and hopefully a deep run in the playoffs.
Did everyone come back healthy?
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
On the mental side of that, Danley has a very high internationally. Andre has a bit of a low.
Yeah.
How do you approach that, reintegrating them into the task at hand? What's that process like?
Yeah, I've had individual conversations with those guys, and Danley was suspended in his last game. So he's fit, he's healthy, he's strong, he's happy with the emotions of qualifying for a World Cup. And I think Dre, carried Jamaica on his back. He made some crucial saves. He kept them in the game. He made big plays. It's his birthday today, so we're celebrating his birthday and making sure he has all like the mojo around him, and the good feeling of being back around our group. So I think he's excited to hopefully have a good experience on Sunday, and lead his team to a winning game.
You can go to Zoom, Nico.
All right, Jillian.
Hi, Bradley.
Hey, Jillian.
So on Kevin, just curious about your thoughts on his performance during the U17 World Cup, as well as just what were you pleased with how Eddie, Neil, Andrew, and CJ did during their camps as well?
Yes, so that's a great question, and I think if you see the way Kevin put himself about, and to Kevin's benefit, he plays up, right, a few years, and always now, you expect him to stand out when you play with your same age group, and I think he did that. And I think 3 man of the match performances out of his 4 gives them excellent scope of that we're on the right track. And Kevin's produced some big minutes for us, big meaning contributions. He's come on in certain cameos at the end of games and has produced for us. And he trains with us every single day. And I think in 2024 he massed 8 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And now with the Open Cup games and our run going deeper now, he's into probably close to 400, if I'm not mistaken. So in terms of a player pathway and a progression, he's progressing in the right way, because you could see the performance he put on at the World Cup. And CJ had a great camp. He really enjoyed working with Rob. Obviously he ends off his camp with a nice goal, but I think everyone contributed and showed off exactly what the union about, and the way we go about our player development and the player pathways. So it's successful to get our guys out there. I think over the course of the year we've had 57 call-ups throughout the club within the academy. So it's incredible work by academy staff and the players representing us in the highest way possible.
And final question, we'll go to Kyle.
Hey, Bradley.
Hey, Kyle.
Getting back to NYCFC, just real curious, and you kind of touched on it, but they've won 5 of their last 6 matches on the road heading into Sunday. When you look at their road form, do you take anything away from that, or are they just hitting their stride at the right time?
No, I think anyone, like you say, every team that's at this stage of the tournament, there's something going for them, and they have quality, and they deservedly get to the last 4 of a conference, right? So whether it's been away or home, I do think obviously they could sit back a little deeper and then create some space. You saw against Charlotte, 2 of their goals came in transition because Charlotte's pushing, and all of a sudden there's space in behind, and so we'll have to come up with a game plan for that. And they do have some speed and pace, and have some game changes with Fernandez, especially Nico. So yeah, again, it's a good unit, it's a good team. They have a lot of quality through defensively, through the midfield, and they're gonna have to package it maybe in a different way. I don't know, that's for their coach to decide, but yeah, we respect them, and these are good games and tight games, and you want to match yourself against really quality teams, and I think that's what they are.